are you? Today I'm going to share the 5 best fruits that can help you naturally control and lower your cholesterol. Lately, a lot of people have been asking me for more practical tips to control cholesterol. If you struggle with high cholesterol, have a family history, have had it before, and need to keep it under control, you need to stay until the end of this list. The last item on the list, the last fruit, is surprising, and it's very easy for you to incorporate it into your daily routine in various ways, and it can help you control your cholesterol. These fruits have scientifically proven bioactive compounds that will help you. You're going to love it. I'm going to give you some tips on how to consume them, precautions to take, so stay until the end because you won't want to miss it. Before we start, I want to ask you if you have high cholesterol or if you're afraid of having high cholesterol, if you take medication or not. Write to me because I would love to see your comment. Now, the very first fruit on our list might actually come as a bit of a surprise to some of you because it's avocado. When we talk about cholesterol, we always think about fat in the blood. And of course, avocado is one of the fruits with the highest fat content found in nature. So many people who have high cholesterol think, I'm going to cut avocado out of my life. I can't eat fat. However, the quality of the fat actually matters significantly more. That's because the fat in avocado, a healthy monounsaturated fat, is oleic acid, which shares the very same composition as extra virgin olive oil. Plus, it contains essential dietary fiber and really helps promote long-lasting satiety, better overall blood sugar control. In fact, having oxidized LDL is actually far worse than simply having elevated overall LDL levels in your blood. When your LDL cholesterol becomes oxidized, it dramatically increases systemic inflammatory signaling throughout your entire body, which can significantly raise your long-term risk of developing serious cardiovascular disease over time. So, when we truly make an effort to eat foods that are rich in antioxidants like avocado, which naturally contains incredible anti-inflammatory healthy fats in addition to being high in fiber and exceptionally filling, we can really go a long way in dramatically improving our cholesterol issues. The liver produces bile, which is an enzyme necessary for our digestion, right? To emulsify the fats we consume in our diet, and it does this using cholesterol. Normally, a large portion of this bile would just be recycled for later use. But when we consume enough dietary fiber, it actively works to trap and bind some of this product. So it can actually be excreted right out of the body through the feces. So it helps to balance out this cholesterol issue in our body. A very common mistake many people make when eating avocado is to take the fruit and eat it with sugar, condensed milk, chocolate, syrup, or something else that is very sweet. So ideally, you really shouldn't be eating avocado that way because it can take away from some of the health benefits of an otherwise nutritious food. The best way to eat avocado is actually to go for the savory side, right? With some lemon, a bit of salt, a simple guacamole, or maybe avocado with an egg, or even just adding avocado in your salad to complement it. And if you prefer to eat it sweet in delicious smoothies or as a sweetened avocado puree with cinnamon, for example, you can easily add a few drops of stevia to sweeten it or choose another non-caloric sweetener that won't negatively affect your overall metabolism. The second food on our list is berries. This diverse group of fruits includes strawberries, blueberries, blackberries, raspberries, tart cranberries. Now, when we talk about berries, we're referring to those small fruits that naturally grow on bushes, okay? So it's definitely not just any random fruit that happens to be small. These berries are naturally very rich in anthocyanins, which are beneficial antioxidant compounds that help prevent the oxidation of cholesterol when it's circulating in the bloodstream. In addition, berries have a significant amount of fiber, low calories, and low carbohydrates, which contribute positively to overall metabolic health. They contain anthocyanins, which are responsible for providing them with that vibrant reddish or purplish color. They also have polyphenols, antioxidants, a low glycemic impact, and lots of fiber, as I mentioned before. So this really helps to reduce the oxidative stress in our bodies. The vascular and circulatory environment becomes less inflammatory, blood sugar levels stay more stable, and it also helps to better control triglycerides, which sometimes go hand in hand with high cholesterol. So really think about how you can easily add these berries into your daily routine in various ways. You can easily add these delicious ingredients to your daily whey protein smoothie, yogurt, or oatmeal, or even use them to make a healthy homemade dessert that you and your family can enjoy. So they really help support your cardiovascular health and can definitely help with long-term cholesterol control. Our third fruit is apples. The apple is a very underrated fruit by many people, mainly because it's such a popular, common, and affordable fruit, right? So normally, we don't really think of the humble apple as a powerful superfruit for anything. However, it actually has a very high concentration of pectin, which is a key soluble fiber. And I've already told you all about the very important roles of soluble fiber, like capturing precisely the cholesterol that would be circulating in your bloodstream, even because of the bile mechanism I explained to you. And the apple also contains many important vitamins and antioxidants, especially in its peel. And pectin is found precisely in the apple peel and just beneath the peel. So you shouldn't peel the apple. I don't know where this idea of eating peeled apples came from. I don't know who invented that, but that was actually really counterproductive because the greatest benefits of the apple are found in the peel, so never peel it. Since we consume a lot of fiber by eating pectin, right, in the apple peel, we have greater intestinal elimination of cholesterol. The liver needs to produce more bile and utilizes the cholesterol from within the liver cells in this process. Consequently, pectin also captures part of these bile acids. On top of all that, it provides polyphenols. It gives you that prolonged feeling of satiety because it's firmer, you end up chewing it longer, so you snack less afterwards and spend more time on that meal. Of course, I'm talking about fresh apples here with the peel, whole. And I'm definitely not talking about apple juice here, especially not processed store-bought juice, okay? In the case of apple juice bought in cartons, cans, bottles, and so on, it's really not a good choice at all because it causes a very sharp spike in your glucose levels. It contains a high concentration of carbohydrates with almost zero fiber, so it's really not a good idea to consume it, just to make that completely clear here. If you're enjoying the video, go ahead and leave your like. It's really important to me here on the channel. And if you know someone who wants to control their cholesterol, share this video. Let's expand our chain of kindness. Now, our fourth fruit is the purple grape, the dark one, or that red grape, as we usually call it. When we talk about eating grapes, we're basically thinking this red grape, we're thinking about resveratrol. It has long been associated with improved cardiovascular health, and many studies have been conducted. So much so that in the past, people used to recommend a glass of wine a day to improve cardiovascular health. However, the benefit isn't in the alcohol. The true benefit lies in the resveratrol. So if you can eat the fruit, it's healthier for you, especially since we all know that alcohol is genuinely harmful to our health. Alcohol is harmful. In fact, nowadays it's even officially classified as a food substance that can be carcinogenic. So these dietary recommendations are naturally dynamic and really do change over time. However, since dark-colored grapes and red grapes contain a lot of resveratrol, they actively help with reducing inflammation in the blood vessels, while also signaling vascular relaxation, improving overall blood flow, and enhancing endothelial function, that is, the health and function of the blood vessel wall itself. In addition to polyphenols and antioxidants, it contains a lot of fiber. The grape skin is basically pure fiber, right? And it helps with these vascular compounds. So the idea is to use grapes intelligently. Normally, a standard serving of grapes is about 15 individual grapes, right? And ideally, you should always eat them with some type of food that actively helps lower the glycemic index, like yogurt, chia seeds, or even some bran, flaxseed, psyllium. Because ideally, you should control it, since sometimes 15 grapes might seem like too little for some people, especially if it's your entire snack. But when you add yogurt or another food like that, which increases satiety, you enhance the effect of the grapes without causing an insulin spike, which is also very important. Last but not least, we have citrus fruits here, which, as I mentioned at the beginning of the video, are some of the most versatile fruits to add to our daily routine. We know that citrus fruits don't just contain vitamin C, right? Especially in oranges, lemons, and tangerines, there's a lot of hesperidin, flavonoids, limonoids, and soluble fibers, mainly in the peel. So you can sometimes use the zest in salads, in sauces, to incorporate into your daily routine. So they greatly benefit metabolic profile, lipid profile, improve the inflammatory environment, cardiovascular health, and in addition, they contain fibers, right? Of course, it's more difficult to consume the peel. Some people, for example, make lemonade with the whole lemon, and in that case, they consume more of it. Since it's stronger, it becomes considerably harder to eat the whole peel. So usually people use more of the colored part and discard the white part, which is indeed more bitter. Be very careful with orange juice because orange juice can actually be extremely high in overall calories. So when I'm talking about oranges, I really mean eating the whole orange with the pulp, with all the fiber, with everything, okay? The whole complete fruit. And please be careful with grapefruit because it can interact with certain medications such as statins. This problem doesn't happen with oranges or lemons, okay? So it's really just grapefruit, which is a fruit more closely linked to this type of interaction with certain medications, especially some cholesterol-lowering medications, and it shouldn't be consumed at the same time as these medications. So, the good thing about citrus fruits, like lemon and orange, is that you can easily use them, as I mentioned, in refreshing lemonade, or you can make an orange drink, which serves as a great option to replace high-calorie juices. You just take an orange, peel off the outer skin, blend it with the pulp and everything, add water, a big glass of water, and it turns out naturally sweet with just one orange. So if you miss drinking orange juice, this orange drink is a good option. You can use it in sauces, seasonings, marinades. It's very versatile and very easy to incorporate into your daily routine. Remember, the best thing about these fruits is to vary them in your daily diet. And you also shouldn't put all your hopes in fruit in the sense of, I'm going to have a completely unbalanced diet, not exercise, drink a lot of alcohol, smoke, and just eat these fruits here. That won't work, okay? Fruit isn't a miracle worker. It helps a lot when the rest of your diet is balanced, when you go to the doctor regularly, when you follow the recommendations and take your medication. So remember, if you have any questions, consult your doctor or a nutritionist in your city. So tell me which of these fruits you're going to start including more regularly in your daily diet. I'd really love to see your comment. Leave a like on the video and share it with someone who'll enjoy it or who needs it. Let's grow this chain of kindness. That's what I want with the channel. See you next time. Bye.